How's it going, YouTube? It's Brandon here, and it is time for some Super Auto Pets. I have been practically addicted to this game for like a month now, so just wanted to make a video and show it off. Let's get into it. So if you're not familiar with Super Auto Pets, it is an auto battler, auto chess type game with this like farm animal aesthetic. Let's go ahead and jump into a mode. And we start off with 3 animals and 1 item in our shop. Everything costs 3 gold. We've got 10 gold to start with. We're going to have 10 gold at the beginning of every round. And we can spend 1 gold to re-roll. So what we're going to do here, we're going to buy 2 mosquitoes. We're going to re-roll. We can buy 1 more thing. Let's buy an otter. All right, now, so obviously each animal has its own stats. The mosquitoes are 2/2s. The otter is a 1/2, but they also have their own abilities. The otter, when we played it, gave +1/+1 to a random friend. It gave it to one of these mosquitoes, making it now a 3/3. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that mosquito in the front. We want mosquito, mosquito, otter, biggest mosquito in the front. And now we're going to end the turn and we're going to go straight into a battle. At the beginning, our mosquitoes are going to launch a volley of 1 damage at our opponents, and then they're just going to automatically start fighting. All of the abilities, all of the attacks, it all happens automatically, but we've got to pick our team name. Suave Doggies. Yeehaw. All right, what do we got? The Moist Husbands. Very good, very good, very good. Oh, that was actually really clutch for us. Our mosquitoes combined their power to help take out that fish, and our first mosquito was able to trade with it. And then from there, he had a pretty big otter. So our second mosquito, our otter traded with it, and we ended in a draw. We need 10 trophies, 10 wins to ultimately win the game. And we have 10 hearts. If we lose all of our hearts, we lose the game and we have to start over. All right, now for this next round, I like an ant in the front. We're going to freeze this fish. So now we can re-roll and we keep our fish. It's not going anywhere. Double ant. I think what we're going to do is another mechanic of this game. All of our animals start at level 1. We can combine 3 animals to make them into a level 2. And then we can combine 3 more to make them into a level 3. 3 is the highest you can go. Every time you combine them, their stats get higher and their abilities get stronger. So we are going to combine 1 ant. With our first ant, stats get bigger. It is now level 1.5. 1 more and this ability gets better. So we're going to freeze this ant. We're going to throw a fish in the back. We're actually going to trade it with the otter. We want otter in the back because it's the weakest unit. And we want ant in the front because when it dies, it's going to buff a random unit behind it. So we want that buff kind of as soon as possible, usually. All right, what is next? The Amazing Eyes. Oh, I still got this on fast forward. Let me take that off. And we did lose pretty handily because he had a big otter. He had a level 2 otter already. Now, we could have had a level 2 ant from the beginning, but we didn't want to because of the tiers. We start in tier 1, and all of the animals that we've bought so far were tier 1. After 2 battles, we level up, upgrade to tier 2. We're now on tier 2, which means we can have tier 2 animals appear in our shops, like the swan, as well as tier 2 items, like the pill and the cupcake. The reason that we didn't upgrade the ant until just now is because whenever you level up, you fully level up an animal, you get 1 free animal extra in your shop. You still have to buy it, but it just kind of appears, and it's always a tier above. So even though we're only tier 2, our ox that we just spawned is now tier 3. So, it's called tier skipping. We waited to tier skip higher. If we had done the ant before, we would have unlocked a level 2, and it wouldn't have really done anything much for us right then and there. So we waited. We're going to tier skip now to get a tier 3. And the ox is honestly pretty good. So we're going to sell the otter for 1 gold. We're going to put this ox behind this ant. Swan and pill are really good options here. So I haven't done anything with the item buffs yet, but these are, again, 3 gold to usually increase the power of our units. Sometimes they will do other things. Kind of depends on what they are. The pill is a special one, though. It only costs 1 gold, and it automatically kills one of our units. Now, you might be thinking, why the heck would we kill a unit? Well, because all of the abilities that happen when the units die, if it happens during battle, then it only happens for the duration of that battle. Our ant died, it made something stronger. Battle ends, we're back to this screen. Ant's still here. The thing it made stronger isn't stronger anymore. But if we pill it and kill it right now, then whatever it makes stronger, that buff will be permanent. So that's why pills can be incredibly strong, but you need to know when to use them. So we are going to pill the ant right here. It's going to make one of these two permanently stronger. But the reason that we're really doing this is because the ox says that if the thing in front of it dies, it gets bigger and it gets melon armor. Melon armor is an incredibly powerful buff that means it will take less damage the next time it gets hit. Well, this is fine in battle, but if we do it now in the building phase, this is permanent. And that's insane considering we're on tier 2. So we're going to pill this ant. All right, it did buff the mosquito. So that's going to be a pretty big mosquito. And our ox is permanently at +2 power and melon armor. So this thing is pretty insane already at this point. We're going to buy a swan. We're going to throw mosquito in the front. And we've only got 2 gold left, so all we can do is roll. Now, 3 units this far into the game is not good, but they're big units. We've got an 8-6 and a 3-4 with melon armor. I think we're going to be just fine. I'm going to save this pill and re-roll. We got a swan and an ant. Swan is really good. Swan gives you an extra gold. What I want to do, the reason I'm saving the ants in the pill is to do that same trick again. We're going to permanently buff something and the ox on our next turn. I think I'm going to get greedy and save the second pill as well, just in case we roll another ant or a flamingo. I don't think we've seen a flamingo yet, but it is a tier 2 unit that does something similar to the ant. All right, so mosquito is going to destroy this ant pretty easily. And then we are going to trade with the fish, which is not great, but our ox is going to get buffed from the thing in front of it dying. It's going to take out that beaver, and then it's going to trade with badger. We are going to lose here, and that's really unfortunate. Badger, a tier 3 unit, so they tier skipped as well. The badger, when it dies, deals its attack power and damage to the thing on the other side of it. In this case, it was our swan, but he had a honeypot on it, which was an item that says when the thing dies, you get a 1/1 unit behind it. That was the only thing left at the end of the battle, so he won. Really unfortunate, but it happens. So let's do this ant pill trick. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hold on to the swan for a minute. No, I'm going to go ahead and buy the swan. The reason I wasn't sure if I wanted to buy it or not was because, if we do this pill trick again, I don't want it to buff the small swan. I want it to buff the big swan. Roll, please. We don't have enough money to do the pill trick again. Anyway, we are going to save it. No, I'm going to let go of it this time because at the end of this battle, we are going to jump up to tier 3. Our best units for pilling are tier 1 and tier 2. So we're going to have smaller odds of getting those as our pool increases. So, I think we're going to fall off of this dream for right now. No, change my mind. We're going to keep it. We're going to buy a spider because when the spider dies, it summons something to replace itself. So we're going to pill the spider next turn and it will replace itself. If it's a unit we want, we keep it. If we don't want it, we sell it. We get our 1 gold back and the pill was basically free. All right, so here we're going to trade with this beaver. Looks like their biggest unit, so it's pretty good trade for us. Ooh, this duck might wreck us. And by wreck us, I mean we get a ram, and rams are pretty OP, so we just kind of handle that. The sheep summons 2 rams behind it. Very, very good. The bee is going to break our melon armor, which is unfortunate, so we trade with the spider. But our swan is going to beat out this kangaroo, and then it's going to trade with the horse. We win. Pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. First victory, though. This is not going so well. First victory not going so well. We have another ox. Now, I'm not big on ox late game, so I don't usually care to get a level 2 ox, but if we've got an extra one right here after tier skipping into it, might as well save it and we'll see what we can do. First, let's pill the spider. It leaves us with another sheep. That's not super common to get sheep off of that twice in a row. I'll take it. It's pretty good. I like it. Roll. And there's the ox. We are going to go ahead and buy that. Again, not huge on level 2 ox, but if they're going to give it to me, you take it and then you tier skip. And now we've got worm. Worm permanently gets bigger whenever it eats food. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and combine these guys. We're going to throw Worm in here. It starts out as a 2-2, so it's not going to do anything, but it's going to get huge throughout the game. And we're going to keep this like this. Oh, no, 1 gold left, so let's go ahead and roll just in case we get something. Let's get this Mosquito so we can tier skip next turn. And let's go ahead. All right, we're going to beat out the Spider. We're definitely going to beat out the thing the Spider leaves behind because it'll only be a 2-2. And then Mosquito will trade with Flamingo. So this is pretty good. Never mind. Never mind, because Spider got Sheep. I swear this doesn't usually happen. This has happened 3 times in a row. Do you know how uncommon that is? You probably don't. It's very uncommon. Jesus. Oh, but it's fine because we are going to beat out this Dodo and then we'll finally trade with the Swan. We've got 2 guys left. It was easy. Easy. All right. We're going to go ahead and tier skip with this Mosquito. That leaves us a Deer. Do I want Deer? Deer is very similar to Sheep in that it leaves something behind when it dies. The thing it leaves behind is usually much better than the Sheep's though. So let's go ahead and sell Sheep. We're going to replace it with Deer. I'm going to go ahead and Salad Bowl. Yes, okay, it hit the Worm. We wanted it to hit the Worm, so now the Worm gets permanently +1 bigger. The Salad gave it +1. It gave itself +1. Now we're going to use the Cupcake. Cupcake is +3/+3, which is the biggest buff in the game, but it's only temporary. It only lasts 1 turn. But by feeding it the ones, you know, it gets +1/+1. It gets a little bit of permanent buff anyway, and it's a huge butt just sitting in the back to help soak up damage if it gets there. If we don't win by then. Ooh, Mosquito's gonna trade with this Flamingo. That's not great. Hippo is gonna do some work. Hippos are known for rolling over teams that have summons. So beating out Deer and then beating out Bus is just making the Hippo stronger. Our Ox is gonna take it down because Ox is insane. But we're gonna lose to the Melon Armor on the Fish. We're gonna end in a draw, and that's fine. Draws are fine. They don't hurt you negatively for the most part. The more you play, the better chances you have at getting better units, but then, you know, the more advanced your opponents will be in that same regard. So it doesn't hurt to draw, but it could hurt if you're not, you know, advancing your team well enough. Oh, what are we doing? Meat is not bad. Meat on Deer, I'm really thinking about. Meat is going to give it extra attack power when it actually attacks. The number doesn't go up, but it will deal 5 more damage every single time it fights. Whale is pretty good with Deer, but it doesn't combo very well with Ox, so I'm not going to worry about that. Another Ox. If I'm already not high on level 2 Ox, you can imagine that I don't care about level 3 Ox. But if they're gonna just throw it around, I'm not gonna say no. All right. I think it's time to get off this Mosquito. Dealing 1 damage to 2 random enemies is honestly really bad at this stage in the game. It can be good late in the game when more units have Melon Armor, because it's just really easily crack the Melon Armor, get in for a fair fight. But in the mid stages of the game, no one is weak enough to die to Mosquito, but most people don't have Melon Armor, so it's not really doing anything. Let's go ahead and sell it for 2 gold. Level 2 units sell for 2 gold. Level 3 for 3. And I think we're going to replace it with this Dolphin. Yeah, let's replace it with Dolphin. It's going to deal 5 random damage to an enemy when it gets at the beginning of the battle. 5 damage to the weakest enemy on their team. So really good for sniping out enemies. The earlier you can get this, the better it is. Let's go ahead and buff our Ox with the combination, and then we'll feed an apple to our Worm. Give it +2/+2, and get in. Ooh, Bison. Bison's really good, but it is going to lose to our Deer with the meat on it because it's dealing extra damage. We've got a Bus. If you didn't notice before, the Deer summons a Bus when it dies, which I think is just the funniest thing. Our Ox is going to beat up their Ox and their Giraffe. Ooh, they had a Sheep. which means we've got to go through 2 more rams, but it's nothing. It's nothing. Didn't even break a sweat. Victory, 3rd trophy. We're going to tier skip on this swan. Got a rhino. I am not big on rhino. I don't think I'm going to do rhino this game, even though I tier skipped into it. Whenever it knocks something out, it deals an additional 4 damage to whatever was behind it. And this can wreck summon builds because, you know, if you deal the extra 5 damage to a deer, the deer dies, the bus comes in place. It'll continue to deal more damage. 4 damage wouldn't kill the bus, but, you know, you can see how that would just tear through a sheep. It would kill the sheep and all of its rams and then go through to the next thing. So it can be really good, but it's not amazing. And it fights for the big beefy boy slots. In every team, you want 1 to 2 units that are just as big as you can make them. The rhino wants to be one of those people. The worm also wants to be one of those people. So it kind of fights for that slot. And we don't have a whole lot of resources to be devoting to that slot right now. So I'm just not going to worry about it. Speaking of the worm, I'm going to give it garlic armor. Garlic armor, very powerful. It's going to reduce the damage that this takes by 2 every single time anything deals damage to it. So, you know, something with 3 power hits it, worm's only taking 1 damage. That's, you know, it's pretty insane, honestly. I'm not going to bother with Swan here because I'm not going to level this up to 3. I'm probably going to sell this relatively soon. God, I should have got the Swan. I didn't make a bad choice. I just got unlucky. And let's, I mean, sure, we'll go ahead, buff it by just a little bit, make it a little bit easier to do it again later. Again, we're going to trade with this first unit. The dolphin kills the sheep, which is huge because you can only have 5 animals on your team. The sheep tries to summon 2 rams, but it can't because there are too many, you know, people on the opponent's team. It can only summon the 1. So we got a lot of value off of that dolphin right there. We are going to trade with these summons. Ooh, then we're going to trade with Spider. Oh, and he got... The honey badger is then going to deal a lot of damage to us, but it's also going to kill a sheep. This is why you don't want honey badger in the front of your team usually, because it will damage your own things. It'll damage whatever's around it, and it doesn't care if what's around it is yours or theirs. We did trade. We still have Swan. Sushi is really good. Yeah, I think we'll start with the sushi. Did not hit our worm, which is unfortunate. Ooh, we are going to snap this this dolphin for leopard. That's unfortunate because leopard, the way the scaling works in this game, some animals are just the better versions of other animals. I guess leopard isn't strictly better than dolphin, but it does the same thing where it will snipe one of the opponent's mons. Leopard usually tends to do it a little bit better, but leopard is a flex slot because the sniping it does is dependent on how big it is, which means it also wants to be the biggest unit on your team. Like I said, you can have usually 2 of those, maybe 3. So having a leopard that wants to be that, but also is going to deal additional damage is really good. That's why it's a tier 6. That's why it's one of the last units you can get in the game. Tier 6 is the highest that it goes. It does not get higher than this. But do I replace these? I think it replaces Swan before anything else. So we're going to go ahead and get off that Swan roll. And let's go ahead and sell the Swan for 2 gold. Buy a leopard. I think we're going to move Worm up front. This should be pretty good. We're around the tier level that we're going to start running into crocodiles, which are going to deal 8 damage to the thing in the back. Now, that would only deal 6 damage to Worm, but then it basically loses to whatever it fights next. Let's go ahead and let the crocodile hit Dolphin. It doesn't kill it. The Dolphin is fine to trade, but because the Worm is big and has garlic armor, it'll trade with more things than just 1, if that makes sense. We're not going to trade with this turtle, but we are going to kill his shark in the back. His team is basically dependent on having that shark in the back, and just sniping it out of nowhere was pretty insane. All right, so his turtle gave a bunch of melon armor. That's really unfortunate. But we are going to win because our leopard is going to trade with that bison, and then dolphin, of course, is going to beat up a monkey. Monkeys are really small in this game. Leopard already coming in clutch. Let's freeze a worm. Roll. Salad bowl's not bad, but we'd rather have sushi. Yeah, let's go ahead and keep rolling. Pear. Pear's good. Pear is +2/+2. It's the highest targeted food. And now I'm thinking, we've got to start thinking about who we want to feed first. The leopard or the worm? The worm gets huge. The leopard deals a bunch of damage. I think we want to start feeding leopard. There's sushi. Seal is also really, really good for this squad. Seal might replace worm, actually, because the seal is going to buff some of our friends whenever it eats. And I have a level 3 worm win, which is an achievement thing that we haven't gotten to yet. Not even talking about it right now. I can sell this for 1, go up to 5. I can only buy one thing no matter what. So I think I'm going to save the seal. We're going to roll once. And I'm going to sushi. That sounds good. And it didn't hit the worm, which I think is best because we're going to sell it. So we don't want to buff something that we're about to sell. Let's buff the things that we're going to keep. Ooh, that is a big bison. All right, we are going to snipe 2 of his units, though. They weren't great units. They weren't huge. They didn't do anything in battle, but it's still great that we got rid of them. The bus, if you haven't been able to tell, actually hits 2 units at the same time. It hits the one in front and the one behind it. So it breaks that melon armor, and then our team is able to sweep through the rest of them. That was actually really clutch. Really amazing. We've gotten up to 5 wins. This is where things really kind of start to get hard. 5 wins, I've noticed, is usually kind of where you're getting really close to losing and other teams are starting to get really, really good. So you got to be really careful around 5 wins. I'm going to go ahead and sell this worm. We're going to buy a seal. Let's roll 2 pairs. 2 pairs is good. We're going to pair a leopard. We're going to freeze roll. Cow, cat, and fly are all really insane. Melon armor's insane. All right, we're going to freeze it all and we're going to think about it. What do we have? What do we need? What's doing work for us and what really isn't? I would love to get this ox off of the team. I think a lot of its value is gone at this point. It doesn't scale very well at the end of the game, but it is our strongest unit right now because of the melon armor. It can take 2 hits before it dies, at the very least. We could put melon armor on the leopard, and that kind of generates the same basic idea. And that honestly might be what we do, but we can't do all of that right now. We don't have enough money. I think what we're going to do is this is not fly run. We're not worrying about fly. We are going to melon the leopard. Because meloning the leopard makes it more efficient in a fight. And I think we want that right now more than just the extra snipe potential. And then next turn, we'll get off this ox and we'll go through cow cat. We're going to get off this pair as well. I'd love the pair, but pair doesn't work well with cow, and we'll kind of get into that later. Ooh, deer. We're going to trade with this. We're not going to trade with the deer. We're going to fully beat the deer. Oh, he has whale. Whale is going to kill the deer, which is then going to trade with mine. He's only got 2 units left because of our sniping. We are going to destroy this whale. When the whale dies, it brings the deer back out. Why did it bring out 2? Was that because of the tiger cub? Oh no. I mean, we are still going to win, and that's great. I didn't realize that it had tiger cub behind the whale. Tiger cub means that the whale's thing happens twice. So it ate the deer. When the whale dies, it's supposed to spit the deer back out. But because tiger cub was on it, the whale spat it back out twice. Does not, it just completely ignores the laws of physics and it spits it back out twice. So many buses. And then the tiger behind the deer after the whale had died made the deer summon 2 buses. Oh, just absolutely insane. Tiger can be really, really great. Anyway, let's keep going. Chocolate. Chocolate is the best food in the game. It automatically increases the experience level of an animal. Let's go ahead and chocolate the leopard. So it's now 1.5 and its stats did go up a little bit. We're going to sell the ox. 2 gold. We're going to buy cow. Cow automatically replaces everything in the shop with these milks, these +1/+2 milks. That's why we gave up on pear, because we wouldn't have been able to use it anyway unless we used it first. And I just didn't want to do that at the time. We're then going to sell cow for cat. All right, these milks are free, so we're going to get to use both of them. Cat will double the potency of all of the food that we eat as long as it's on the field. So instead of being +1/+2, these are +2/+4. We are going to go ahead and throw these on leopard. And we have a gold to roll with. Ooh, second cow. But what do I sell for second cow? Doesn't really matter right now. We're going to go ahead and cupcake this leopard. Really huge buff, only temporary, but I mean, its sniping powers are increased for this fight by a lot. So you know what? We'll deal with it. Ooh, we're going to snipe some stuff here. Please hit that turkey. Please hit the turkey. Oh, it sniped the sheep instead of the turkey. That's actually so bad for us. The turkey is going to give a bunch of extra toughness and health and power to the things that get summoned on its field, and the parrot's only going to increase that. Okay, we did ultimately win here. I was starting to do the math in my head. I thought we were going to lose to that turkey, but we got it just barely. Just barely. All right. We're definitely going to tier skip on this leopard. It's not really tier skipping anymore, so we're just going to level it up. It is going to give us a level 6 for free because we're at level 6. Let's freeze that. The seal's not doing anything for us. It definitely could, but right now it's not. So I'm not super high on it, and that's what I'm thinking about selling. Deer is also not amazing for us, but it deals 9 damage. It deals 9 damage on its own, plus the 5 from the bus. I almost missed that. It deals 14 damage, which is not nothing. It's hard to replace that right now. This is one of the hard parts about this game, is you've got to know when to pivot. You've got to know when to get off of what you're doing and when to get onto something new. Deer, we could do something so much better than deer, but right now it would be worse, and we don't want to start losing. So it's a really tough thing. I'm going to save deer for now. We're going to get off seal because seal's not doing anything. We're going to cow. We're going to do this milk trick again. And you notice at the beginning, when we first summoned this leopard, it had really high attack, but really low defense. It was meant to just die in one hit and just use its ability. Now that toughness is up really high. It's going to be a really formidable unit in a fight. Don't want to forget about this dolphin here. Ooh, chocolate. Chocolate is very good. Chocolate is very good. But we can only do one more thing this buy phase. We can either chocolate, or we can sell the cow and replace it with something. I think I'm going to sell the cow and replace it with something because a 4/6, keeping a 4/6 isn't worth increasing the leopard by 1 power, 1 toughness, because that's all the chocolate will do until it levels up. Instead, I'm going to sell the 4/6, and it's just up to which of these 2 units do I want to buy right now. I guess I could buy Mammoth. Mammoth is not bad here. I think I'm going to buy Dolphin, because then it's going to snipe a unit for 5. Big Dolphin's going to snipe a unit for 10. Leopard's going to snipe a unit for 13. I think it rounds up. 13 to 2 different things. So we're going to deal an absolute ton of damage before the game even starts, really. Ooh, leopard, cow. Get rid of this gorilla, I think. Snake. Shark Dragon. I'm going to hold on to Snake for right now as well. because that's another sniping unit. That's kind of what our team is doing here. It's tearing apart our opponents before they really get a chance to do anything. All right. Ooh, this crab's got a big butt. A lot of his stuff has got big butts. He really took advantage of Rabbit Seal here. Those combo really well together. Oh, and it's got a chili pepper, so it took the armor off of my leopard. That's really bad. We are going to lose this one for sure. Yeah, we lost that seal. His things were too big. The chili pepper meant that we couldn't get through them fast enough to stop that. It's fine. It happens. Let's go ahead and chocolate this leopard. We're going to combine the dolphins by the cow. We're going to milk here. Again, we can only do one more thing. But we can roll a couple times before we do that thing. Yeah, let's do that. Not great. We've not been getting very lucky with our food. We do have a pizza here. Pizza's pretty good. +2/+2 to 2 things randomly. Because we've got cat, I think sushi is generally the thing that we want, though. We just haven't been seeing it. I will freeze the pizza, though. Let's sell you. Get on Snake. So now every time Leopard attacks, Snake is going to deal extra damage. And I think having it behind Leopard is better than having it behind Deer. Because Deer and Bus are both going to die pretty quickly at this stage of the game. Leopard might survive a few attacks, though. Oh, Jesus, what do you have? Oh, because you have Dragon. Dragon wants you to summon a bunch of level 1 units, tier 1 units. Ooh, the duck also ate our dolphins attack, which is not good. We're gonna lose to this squad too. They're just too big. They're too beefy. Dang. Yeah, we don't even stand a chance. This swan's gonna kill us. So what we need right now is we absolutely need to start scaling up our team better. We need them to be stronger, basically. The abilities that we have here are fine. I wish I had something bigger than Deer, or better than Deer. But the big problem is that these 3 units are all so weak. So we need food buffs, and we need, well, the other kind of food buffs. We need the plus attack power, plus defense power food buffs. We also need the ones that are going to modify how they deal damage, like Steak. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted Steak. But where do we put Steak? I believe we're going to stake the cat, put the cat up front. Steak is going to mean it's going to deal an extra 20 damage. So it's going to deal 24 every time that it attacks. Pretty insane buff. Cow. Snake is not amazing. So I can see myself counting it up in there. But not this round. This round, let's go ahead and chili. I don't even know what to chili at this point. I think we can chili the deer, because the deer just doesn't really do too much. No, I will chili the dolphin, or not the dolphin, the snake. Get an extra little bit of damage there. Even if we're going to sell the snake, the extra damage right now will be better. And it's just not worth putting on Dolphin, because if Dolphin needs chili pepper in the back, we've already lost. Ooh. Their leopard's better than our leopard. Oh god, they're us from the future. Oh, they're me from the future. All right, we got rolled. We got absolutely rolled here. Dang. It's the importance of scaling. Even though we had a really good team in the beginning and early mid stages of the game, it didn't get better throughout the rest of the game like everyone else's teams are. It's fine. It's fine. We've gotten through how to play the game, and I'm still running on a high from tier or level 3B win I got the other day. So down here in the achievements, we can see all the animals in the game are grayed out. Every time you get one of these animals to level 3, you'll get a little sticker on it. Every time you win a game with a level 3, it gets a ribbon as well. So that's kind of like the thing to do. You want to fill all of this up with all of the stickers and all of the ribbons. And the other day, I got level 3B. super hard to do. Level 3B is one of, if not the hardest achievements to get in the game. All that to say, I don't care that we lost just now. I don't really care because I have level 3B. Do you have level 3B? No, I have. And that's all that really matters. But I wanted to show you guys a win. I did. I have the level 3B, but I wanted to show you guys a win. So we're going to do some editing magic here, and I'm going to show you guys a win. Here we go.